All right, here we go. Got Seth Henry here. I'm Mike Evans.
How's it going, Mike?
Doing all right. We got Nate Gonzalez versus Brandon Scott. 9 ball.
Races
10,
to 7.
yep, 10 ball rules.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be Nate's first time on the stream. Brandon's played.
Has Nate not played in any of our chip tournaments or anything like the challenge ones?
I don't believe so. It's a pretty good race here, I think. Brandon's a 557 and Nate's a 562.
Oh, so we're really close then.
Yeah. So should be pretty competitive. Think we'll see if there's a difference in the amount of playing time on this table.
That is true. Out of the two of them, Brandon's definitely more time. He's in here almost every day playing on this table.
Yeah, even if it's an hour at a time. I'd say Branndon has the most playing time on this table out of anybody, including myself.
Yeah, 100%. If anybody is going to know what this table plays like and any quirks and kinks in it, it's going to be Brandon.
Yeah, definitely. It's the first little mistake of the night. It is a little different first time playing on the stream. I'm sure it is for anybody, no matter what your skill level is.
Oh, and yeah, it makes a difference. You're sitting there, you're thinking, just like, oh, somebody's watching, whether it's 5 people or 500 people. You're definitely conscious about it.
No, we'll have a few newcomers tomorrow on the straight pool
Yes,
little match going.
yes, we're doing a 8-person single elimination straight pool tournament. Races to 50 in straight pool, so should be interesting. We have some new faces, some old faces. Should be fun. That one it's more of an invitational type deal, and everybody's within the 470 to 520 or so range of Fargo rating, so 50 points or so from the lowest guy to the top guy. But nothing outrageously different, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna play in it.
The bright side of that event is I think the majority of people that are playing in it are roughly in the same boat where they have some experience, but not a ton. I think out of everybody that's playing in it, we probably Stan Pryor would probably be our big guy that would have the most experience out of anybody.
Does he play a little bit?
I've heard him say, I want to say that he's told me that he's played before, maybe not any recently, but back like a few years ago, he played a little bit, I think. With that, Branndon takes the very first set. Or first rack, not set, my bad. They're doing 3 sets, races to 7.
Correct. Personally, granted, I probably have a higher 9 ball break make percentage ratio than
Just about anybody. Brandon got a nice little spread here. I mean, nothing really too major. The 2 balls kind of iffy, but if he can get back down on that side of the table, he should be fine for it, really.
Guess you decided to go for the defense.
No, I think that was just a miss on his part. I think it was he was playing for just nothing crazy, just make the ball and leave himself the long shot. Because, like I said, I think the 2 goes past the 9. Wonderful defense by Nate. We might see a jump cue, maybe. I mean, it's a pretty simple 1-row kick out. But I'm always a fan of seeing things fly.
Right. We need to get some shorts for the YouTube channel.
Will do.
Almost. Okay, so with this, what do you think? Defense?
Probably, I mean, with
Think
him being on the rail, it's kind of, you can't stop shot it, go through, but just kind of roll up, embrace the hit off the 9 and send the 2 ball all the way up. And just like that, had the,
oh,
no, he went for it a little bit more. I didn't think he had enough to get past that.
that was almost a David Butler shot into the side.
And here we go. We see our first jump shot of the night.
No? Good hit.
Good hit and good view, too. Didn't really leave too much. At the very least, is making him work for it. Another nice little defense from Nate, just kind of tucking it back up there, making Branndon really work, try and get the jump cue out and saying, I'm going to make you make this. Oh,
Just rattles it out. Nice
just
try.
barely.
I will say this is a little faster pace than
Then Thursday
Thursday's
night,
match. Yeah.
yeah, Thursday night was, they went back and forth quite a bit. See, Nate, he's playing very simple stuff. He's not really trying to make anything fancy with the cue ball. He's just kind of making a shot and leaving really what's left up for him.
Yeah. Just by starting off like that, fill it out, get comfortable, and
And then once he gets used to the table, I'm sure come set 2 or set 3, we'll be seeing a lot more movement. a little bit more aggressive styles.
Well, he also
Branndon,
knows Branndon has a pretty good jump, so
right? Branndon hold up. Does he have that cap? I think he can squeeze through that. The question is, he can definitely hit the six. Question is, can he make it? I think so.
he's gonna leave it on the short row.
You think we'll see Nate go aggressive here and bank that in?
Possibly, especially when you leave the cue ball on this short rail for them. For the leave on the 7. But
Missed it, but it rolled up pretty decently. Didn't leave much. I mean, left the cut shot there, but left it hard for Branndon.
got the shape he wanted, I think.
Yeah. I've actually got too perfect shape. Left
Right.
myself too straight on for it. Nice little defensive shot. I think just peeked out from Nate. I think just enough to where Branndon can clip that 6 ball.
And that's going to kind of get into where getting used to the table speed.
Yeah.
We'll tighten those up.
Well, that's a hard defensive shot to play, anyways. Where you're not rolling right onto a ball. You just kind of try and get both balls to go into the same area or same line, I should say.
Nice shot there.
Nice out from Branndon, taking an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
Got this first set on its way. Nice little spread out break from Branndon. If he can make this one ball, it's kind of all just pushing balls together, making sure and kind of putting it all together, making sure nothing crazy happens. A little bit of a hard shot into the side for this one ball, but nothing Branndon should be too crazy on. Very nice shot now. It's just piecing everything together.
So what's your feeling on the leaving the rack on the table? I like to get it off the second it's free. It's just another thing that my eye goes to, which probably shouldn't go to, but
I mean, for me, it doesn't really bother me a whole lot. It's one of those things that I know that it bothers other people. And so I'll usually leave it on and make them move it, especially if there's balls already there. If I get to the point to where I have to shoot over it or something like that, kind of depends on how I'm feeling. If I've been running balls, I'll leave it. But if it's like me first coming to the table and I have to shoot over it, I'll probably move it.
So you're saying I just told you my secret? I just hate that random cue ball hits it and just affects it. Just that even that quarter inch, half inch can make a difference in a
Yeah, for
on that next
especially on
shot.
slower speeds or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I was playing against an opponent a couple weeks ago, and they left the rack out there after the break, and it was clean, no balls around it whatsoever, except for the 9 ball in the center. And when they missed their shot, the ball rolled right over there,
Just
hit that, and then rolled up against
yeah,
the 9. So now the cue ball was on the rack, and I had to get a little English on it. I was just like, well, this sucks.
yeah,
I was like, hey, can we go ask the person running the tournament if we can lift that movement? She goes, no, you can't do that. I was like, okay, whatever.
yeah. Slow speeds, I can definitely see it, but like I said, I know for most part, other people it affects them more, so I just kind of leave it as it goes. But on a different note, we see Brandon just break and run.
Nice work.
So he's one of the first few people on our stream that I think has a break and runs that have been live streamed. I know he's had a couple in previous events and previous streams that we've done. Um, I think there's been one or two in some of our double streams.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think it'll pop up tomorrow on YouTube. I have Brian Parks and Manny Perez's break and run to win the third
The
set
third set.
at 2:45 in the morning. That'll post up
Yeah,
on YouTube tomorrow at noon. So I
mhm.
edited that out, and that's pretty impressive. Especially they didn't play super strong in that last game to finish it off strong like that. It was
Just
good. It was perfect. It was a perfect break, and they did everything just right.
another decently spread out rack from Brandon. 4 ball might give a little bit of problems, but other than that, everything else is pretty spread out. I was gonna ask your opinion on for the 4 ball if he should try and end up down table to shoot the 4 into like one of the sides or something like that, or if he should hold it up and go for the 9. But I think I know what your answer would have been.
Well, if we're playing Scotch doubles and you leave me it,
You're gonna fire away at it.
yeah, if you don't want me to fire at it, you better put me on the other side. Not sure you got him hooked on that one. I think you can see it pretty.
Yeah, I
I
think you
mean,
can see it and see enough to make it too. It's just a matter of actually putting the ball in the hole.
fires away. I think you got a pretty lucky leave there too, as well. On the miss.
Yeah, leaving it, even though it's short or the long rails, not much of distance wise, but both on the rail makes it ever so harder to make something off of it.
Oh, oh, that he had it. Is he gonna get
You
lucky
gonna
and
get
leave his
beyond the
club?
6? Ooh,
No,
just peeks out.
it's a big part of the game. Sometimes when you get the rolls when they leak out and you
Yeah.
don't, or you get hooked, or just
Sometimes an extra half a roll or even a quarter of a roll can make a difference between racks and not only racks, but sometimes entire matches.
great shot. I don't know that he got rewarded on it though. Hmm,
I think you can see it. It's just not definitely not what he wanted, right?
Not a great shot.
That solves the 4-9 issue that we were talking about.
Oh, it's still there.
Lot harder of a shot now.
Yeah. I had a few the other night against Brian and them.
That came out pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how your
Oh,
mindset with that comes back with the straight pool event tomorrow, since it's all call shot and you don't necessarily have to have a single money ball or anything like that, you know?
I was practicing. I'm not great. Like I said, I'm competitive, so it'll be fun.
And for note for remember, they are playing 10 ball rules, which is why Brandon's stopping the 3 ball and why Nate gets to come to the table. He has option coming off to that. And shot that he was left pretty wide open. He's definitely going to be taking that, not giving it back to Branndon.
Oh,
Get behind that line. Just peeks out. Wonderful shot by Branndon. Gets it, comes back around right between that 7-9. Ends up a little bit further than he wanted to, but I mean, with this, you can just kind of take the cut and send the cue ball 3-4 rails around to get back around for the 9 ball. Just like that. Comes in, lays it up.
possibly taking notes for shot of the night.
Okay. Very nice, Brandon. Very, very nice. With that set one, Brandon comes out 4-0 right from start. Only a race 7, so it's not super long of a race, you know.
But I think that's the nice thing of playing 3 short races. Kind of, if you're playing a big long race to 21 or
If
something
you're
crazy like that.
Yeah, if you go down early, it's more of a grind to come back. Whereas this way, you go down early, you struggle in that first set, you can come back to the second set as a clean slate. Two balls on the break, but nothing really on that one ball. I mean, he can see it. He has that cut maybe to the corner or a bank shot, but definitely didn't make it an easy shot on the one ball like how he wanted.
House is starting to fill up back behind us. Oh, look who just walked through the door.
Mr. Kyle Hill.
Like a cornbread cowboy.
Him coming in, he's one of our gonna be one of our players tomorrow in the straight pool event.
Is he going to sign up?
Yeah.
Is that because he knew he was going to play me first? And
He actually, I did not, when I had to fill in that extra spot, I did not tell him who he's playing. So when he's yet to know who he is playing tomorrow. So I will let him know right now.
Okay. Like you said, it's just those rolls, you know.
Yeah. Gets right back up. Messes the shot, but doesn't leave anything. You know, it's
It's kind of like playing me when I miss a shot.
yes, you. I mean, I can't really talk much. I know I'm very much the same way as where I get that lucky roll out to where it's definitely not what they want, right?
That was an unfortunate little mishap there. See what Brandy can do with this with ball in hand. Oh, misses ball in hand. That's no bueno. Nate, I thought, let's see if Brandy can recover from that ball in hand mishap. Brandon call the side pocket. Gonna try and bank it across. Perfect. You can get enough shape over there on the 7 or 6. Does. Nicely done. Got that ball hit behind the 9 over there. Not sure Brennan called a pocket on that shot. That would have been unfortunate if it went in. Nice cut. See if we get some love on the shape. So I can set up for the side pocket. See if Nate can get on the board.
Nate just barely misses that. We really needed that to get on the board somewhat for this first set. You know, while yes, they're doing multiple sets, you definitely don't want to lose that first set 7-0. You want to get something up to get some kind of confidence with it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a little chance to be like, okay, I get to break, get some feelings in.
Like I said, just get a little bit more comfy than he might be right now.
Does Nate have a crown 9-footer at home?
I'm not 100% for
I
sure.
know he has a 9-footer at home. I'm quite sure. And I know he plays a lot on the diamond at corner pocket, which has those 4-inch pockets.
Yeah,
They got
those things
redone.
are tight. But Yeah, I know he, like you said, I know he has one at home, but I'm not 100% sure what it is that he has.
Oh, I
Flirting with
thought I was
that
gonna
side a
crack.
little bit. Might see our first push out of the day. It'd be a tight fit between that 4 and 7, but it might be there. Or he's going for the kick.
We did get another member today to the arena pass.
Who'd end up signing up?
Nate's brother Henry. So
Okay.
he's looking forward to some action and some stuff we have coming up in the future. He definitely wants to get in there.
Yeah, most definitely. I know there's a few things in the back works that I know of that will get coming out soon, probably.
Yeah, just trying to get. We'll probably hear something a little bit before BCA Nationals. But
That's
just trying to get that.
February, right?
Yeah. One of the main things coming up. So we'll see. Oh,
Off the table.
That will be $2, sir. $2. Need to put my cash bucket out there. It's only $1 for the house balls, but the predator balls are $2.
Fireballs. A little bit more expensive. Maybe we need to get some kind of overlay or sound for whenever somebody jumps off the table.
That's more of a breakers after dark.
Garbage time type
Yeah.
deal.
It's okay. I launched one off the table last night. It just went straight off the table. A little dart shot and just went.
Depending on the shape that he gets on this 4, this is kind of the shot of the rack right here. Oh, he decides to play safe.
Yeah. So see that right there is why I don't like the rack on the table.
He kind of rolled it off.
And you see the 3-ball like settled in the hole of the rack. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a weird outcome because if you're trying to put any kind of English on there, I don't know how much that rack affects that, but it can grab it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a give and take, right? It has a minimal effect on it, but definitely is the best way to get a tight rack.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, it could have been removed a few balls ago.
Right. So yeah, Branndon removes it right after that shot.
Oh.
Tried to force it a little bit too much there. But once again, he's getting those rolls.
He must have played for the European Moscone Cup team.
It's the rolls a little bit better. Ooh. Nate almost drilled that. Nice little one kickoff. But ends up rallying and popping back out, and then putting the 6-ball in, which gives Branndon the option coming in, which he has a shot on the 4, so he'll definitely be taking it.
Yeah, I think Brandon's gold crown's in storage, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Nate. I know Nate has one. I'm not exactly sure what he has at the house, though.
He's getting a little nervous. He's dropping all his cues everywhere.
You got just enough speed to get shape on that 7 after the 5 ball. Oops. Looks like Brandon's going to have to get the extension on this 9 ball.
Nice.
Drills it in there.
Gets that 6-0 lead, puts him on the hill, and like I said, it's one of those deals where, yes, if Branndon wins this next racket resets, but I definitely think Nate wants to get something on the board, just get a little bit more
Yeah,
into
definitely.
it.
Even if you win, even a couple racks here, definitely helps. He just needs to get one of those defenses to stick and get the hold the ball.
Yeah, a lot of his defenses have been just kind of rolling out.
Definitely got to throw a shout out to some of our sponsors for the arena. We got Side Pocket Apparel. Let's Make a Deal giveaways. That guy, the Q guy. Kern County BCA Pool League. APA Bakersfield Pool League. Mays Garage Doors. Parks Insurance and CDM Works. We also have Kern Darts, Marshall Arms, and the Bald Kitty. Appreciate them helping us with what we got going on here. All going to start with this 1 ball.
Just gotta get something going.
That nipple.
Going off that point, kind of rolled enough to where the 2 ball got put in the way, but if it would have went sent down table, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Nice little shot from Nate. He's gonna butt up right up to that 9 ball. Branndon's been going down to the Mez tournaments lately, right? I know he's definitely trying to get into that a lot more. I don't think Nate's gone down to any of them, but I know Brandon's last one, he had a couple good a couple good matches. One of them against man who used to be from here, Josh Ferris. Went hill with him. Brandon ended up losing the match, but from what he was saying, telling me it was a really, really good match between the 2 of them. And Josh isn't no slouch. He's I think 650.
Oh.
I know Josh is in the 600 somewhere. I think he's like 650, 660 range.
Yeah. I know I'd like to go down just to see what it's like. Have the 9-footers in a 9-foot tournament. Everything we do here is on 7-foots for the most part, unless we do some one-off item here on the arena.
Yeah, there's not very many 9-footers here in town that are big to be played on, in terms of just like constantly. Like I said, we have our events here, but they're not necessarily all the time. Yeah, so I just looked up. Josh is actually higher than I thought he was. Josh is in that 693.
He's up there then.
So Branndon go put it in a good match against him is pretty big.
Kind of. Oh,
I think that might have been a little bit of the nerves.
yeah. It's the second time Brandon's given him a chance to get back in the game, and
This is a good shot by Branndon. Just nice, simple come out, lets him stun back across table for the 8 ball. And then has pretty much the exact same shot as he just now had to get shape onto the 9.
no.
Left Nate an opportunity. See if Nate can close this out right now.
Play defense. So this is kind of the opposite side, but the 6-ball bank that Branndon made earlier. So see what he's got here.
Yeah, he drills it into the table, pops out, leaves to the shape open for the 9 ball. He can make this. Branndon takes that first set out.
That's the first one in the books.
Yeah, with that, Branndon takes set number 1. I think that Nate just told Branndon to go ahead and continue his break on into the second set.
Okay.
So did Nate open up the break with this one?
I don't know.
Because I don't know. They might have decided to alternate it, and Nate might have won the initial break in the first set.
Not 100% sure on that one. So, but we'll see how Nate comes firing back on the second one.
Yeah, I don't know. He really didn't get into too much of a rhythm that first set. He had his opportunities, but he just wasn't capitalizing on them as much as Brandon was definitely, right?
Yeah, not at all. He definitely didn't take advantage of it when he did have it. I've seen Nate shoot, so once he does get in a rhythm,
Yeah. Now,
that's all he needs.
do you think it might have been because of the stream and because of all that he might have just been a little bit nervous? Because there was a few shots that he seemed to play a little bit more passively, a little bit more defensively than I would have thought he would have.
Yeah, kind of at a certain point, I guess there is the defense. Let me see if I get another shot, or hey, I need to get on the board. Let's make something happen.
Yeah, once you're down by a certain amount, you kind of have to just fire away at it.
I like to call it West Coast offense.
Both taking just a little bit of a small break in between the two sets. I think Nate's kind of taking time to recompose and so where when he does come back and actually gets a shot on the table, he can come back firing. This Branndon gets the opening break. Gets two balls. Is that two ball gonna come in the way? Just barely does, I think. Yeah, Branndon might be going well first, spin into the ball. Yeah. Try and get that going for him. Another defense that just doesn't quite go Nate's way. Rolls out a little bit, gives Branndon the opening shot. I may not be able to cut it. It's a bankable shot, or being able to maybe not go for it, but come back like how what he's doing right now, and defense behind the six. Man, Brandon's able to stick it to that rail.
Little mess here.
It's a good hit.
Yeah.
Good hit, but no love off of it. Comes through, leaves the trading shot for Branndon on three ball. He's able to just kind of stun over for the four, and it's kind of putting stuff together. That seems to be what the majority of the racks that Brandon's got are. It's one little mistake that leaves him straight shot, open shot, whatever the case may be, and the rest of the rack was pretty simple after that. There wasn't any clusters or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Is there enough to get back there?
There might be. I think there, at the very least, if there's not enough to make it, he can definitely hit it and duck behind that six ball while sending the five ball all the way up table.
And so I'd be saying 9 balls live.
I think that's too much of a cut for that, but I mean, I think it's in the way though of sending the five ball into that corner. A little bit of a creative shot might be to actually bank the five ball up into that opposite corner and then just send the cue ball 1, 2 rails down.
Okay.
Defense that seems to really go Nate's way. Didn't leak out, didn't do anything like that. Leaves the jump shot, but at the very least, if Branndon makes this, he made a good shot, right?
Yeah. So one of those. The ball he's trying to jump is kind of in the middle, so it makes it a little tougher. You gotta go a little longer than what you normally
To he's basically trying to line up all just past the 9 ball.
He's had good contact in all his jumps, just missing the shot a little bit. But hey, he's been able to successfully hit the ball he needed to every time.
Yeah. In terms of the levels that we're playing at, hitting the ball is a success.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy shot, but definitely one I would have thought Nate would have been making. Brandon slide down enough to be able to get it. Fell a little short, not quite where he wants it to be, but I think luckily with it just being a 9 ball, he can just send it.
Go back and back down.
Yeah, it doesn't have to try and hold up too much
Oh.
for it. And is he gonna scratch?
Scratch and
And make the 6, leaving ball in hand, and he's just gonna give the rack over to Nate, which is really the first roll that went super much to Nate's way, right?
yeah.
Pretty big roll too in that case.
Yeah, no, that was a double ouch. Been one thing
To
not
scratch,
scratching and yeah, to just scratch or
just to make
not
the 6.
scratch and make the 6 in the wrong pocket.
But yeah, doing both kind of.
Yeah, that was just one of those shots where he cut it too thin and he actually got it on the way back out.
Yeah.
And sent the cue ball to that corner. That's when you're scratching your head like, how to hit the ball going in and back out.
Yeah.
But that puts Nate on the board. And
yeah. He goes initially goes up to the table thinking he made something, but looking at the table, ends up being a dry break.
Yeah, the table's very quiet when you make a ball. You have to actually look. You don't hear it. So
With this, I think that cue ball goes past the 4 ball. It's in the 1. It's just a matter of if you can draw it back and hold up for the scratch. Brandon calls the push. He's gonna be the first person that we see today. I put up, made it to where it's a makeable shot, but a
challenge him to get on the 2.
weird shape for the 2, and that's the type of deal that we don't really see too often with pushes. Is a lot of times you see people just make it a harder shot, not necessarily a harder run.
Or still a hard shot, but a shot they're more comfortable with than
Yeah.
the previous. That way, if they give it back.
He just kind of leaves that one up hanging in front of that pocket.
Sounds like someone's in trouble. Somebody's mom said, "You need to sit down." Oh, Dad stepped in the referee.
Good seeing some of the kids coming down learning the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Matter of fact, first day of juniors starts tomorrow.
Yeah, we have about 30 to 40 kids that come fairly regularly to our junior league right now.
First day of the last session for APA.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Juniors.
discontinuing the program for a little bit at least, but I think there's a few things in the works to keep kids playing here locally at least.
Yeah, no, definitely. The kids won't go without pool here for sure.
Yeah, I'll say there's a handful of people that want to make sure and see the program thrive, whether it's from under whatever banner it goes under.
Seth is a product of APA juniors.
I am played in our junior program for 5 years, I think, maybe 6, and then when I turned 18, I came up into our more adult league, normal league, whatever you want to call it, and
joined my team and went to Vegas his first year.
We did.
The good old days.
That was back when I was still 4 or 5. That was nice days.
Yeah.
that 5 dropping is probably actually the best case scenario for Nate right now.
Yeah. Brandon's been very confident on the banks though, so let's see.
He has been. Yeah, that's another one that just barely hangs up.
Okay.
But still, that confidence sent it. He was on pace. It just rattled in just a hair off of where he wanted it to be.
All right. Now this is where Nate finishes this one off. He gets in a little rhythm.
Jordan. Nice little shot, comes back up. Closes this out and
Yeah.
could
Nice.
see it complete flip maybe.
Yeah.
Go through, lose the first set 7-0, win the second set 7-0, and have an interesting third set. But yeah, definitely Nate seemed a little bit more comfortable. He's got a couple rolls from Branndon that has helped along the way for this second set, but he's definitely making more balls than he did that first set.
Now, like I said, some of the rolls in the first set were a little rough. The 5 dropping was actually a good roll for him.
Yeah.
He makes the 1 and the 2 in the break. So now he's on the 3.
3 might go past that 6-7. I think that there's a little gap through it, and worst case scenario, if there's not, then it hides it amongst a bunch of balls.
Oh.
Doesn't quite scrap, and might have left a little bit of it, but not whole.
Yeah, just enough.
Nice speed. Stays out of that pocket.
Is he going to get behind the 7?
Got some people asking our chats about the players Fargo's. Brandon's a 559, and then Nate's a 563. So only a 4 point difference between the two gentlemen playing tonight. So it's going to be pretty even in terms of all that. It should be back and forth. Another one of those really touchy speed defenses that Nate's been playing a little bit. Comes back up, puts both balls in line of another ball, and really nice shot.
Yeah, like I said, once the rolls start not going away from him, at least, it'll make a big difference in the game. Nice shot.
So they'll come off, make that 5 ball, come back across, make the 4 ball, and then everything else is kind of wide open. Likes to hold up for the bank shot on the 4 ball instead of trying to move the cue ball, be a little bit fancy, and come back around. Just plays it simple.
Nails it. Yeah, so playing with or watching David and Kevin play the other night, they've already had more bank shots here than
They
they
did.
did. Yeah, I don't feel like they really attempted bank shots.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I watched a little bit of that match when I was down here that night. I didn't. I haven't gone back and watched it the entirety of the match over YouTube, but yeah, that they didn't seem to be really playing super aggressive.
Yeah, no, they're or fast.
Now, I know
Yeah, but
they played 2 sets? Were both sets races to 9, or did they shorten the second set?
second was the 7 because of how late it got.
Okay.
Yeah, but Branndon spells his name with 2 N's, so he's a little harder to find on Fargo.
He likes to be special,
At least his mom wanted him to be special.
right?
Some spicy breaker bites behind me.
Maybe if we asked the person eating them very nicely, he'll come bring us some.
No,
Yeah, he's kind of stingy with his food.
Kyle's not bringing anybody anything except for a hard time.
He did tell me though he was going to bring the paint tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to playing with Kyle. We play a lot together, so win or lose, like I said, I'm gonna have fun. I like the whole group of guys that are playing tomorrow. So that just means I get to go home earlier. All right. Nice shot. You gonna get shape on that? No.
I said, "What are you talking about going home early? You're going to be my commentator tomorrow."
Oh. Noah, you out there? Okay. This is a real quick. Get it up and down. Oh. Got it up. Got it down. Didn't make the shot. But again, good hit.
Yeah. He hasn't scratched or fouled at all on the jumps so far, I don't think.
No. And like I said, that definitely shows Nate, hey, if you're gonna play
If you're going to play defense, make sure I'm frozen to that ball because I will, at the very least, hit it. And with the rolls that he was doing, at least in that first game, hitting it and not leaving anything afterwards.
yeah. Not quite enough.
Had an opportunity, didn't really, wasn't able to capitalize on it, but leaves Branndon nothing really. I mean, he has a kick shot out, but that's really all that he has. Makes into the opposite corner, leaves the option. It's again one of those deals where open open ball, you can see all of it. You're not really going to be giving this back. If you did, it's kind of a slap in the face of, oh, I don't think you can make this shot.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a very nice bet from Nate. See if you can close this one out, come to a 3-0 lead, second set.
Yep.
You tucked it away.
Total opposite of what we had the first set.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling good.
Nate's coming out and he's here to play now. That kind of break in between sets, recompose, come back to the table with a different mentality. Like I said, the difference between playing multiple sets instead of a long race is after that first set it was reset, whereas if it wouldn't have been like that, he's down 7-3.
So I see Nate wearing headphones or earbuds. Have you ever played with earbuds in?
I haven't. I know some people they prefer it, right? Just play some music in the background, listen to your own tunes, kind of get jam up to yourself. Me personally, I'm a fan of playing different kinds of music to just to see people's reactions. So music never really had much of an effect on me, but I know it definitely has effects on other people.
So psychological warfare is what you're telling me.
Not necessarily, but I mean, if there's a song that I think's funny that you don't like, then I might play it once or twice.
Like when you play a chipmunk song from Las Vegas.
Yeah, everybody likes the chipmunks here and there.
All right, Brandon, back at the table. Let's see if he can get back into rhythm.
I've heard some people play some Muppet songs as well, so
And I don't think he got where he wanted to be on the two either.
yeah. I say left himself weird off the two if he would have made the one. Once again, we see Nate not really play any crazy shape shot, just roll it forward, make the ball, playing everything pocket speed.
Yeah, they were heavy on the Tennessee whiskey the other night at the jukebox. I still think that may have been Noah playing it from home as much as he hates it.
Because I definitely know there's a couple people that like to play some music from home to whether it's for a joke or just to play it because people know that they like it.
Well, there was the classic I've been at Banacheks or bank shots. They came at breakers and I play all my music and I'm like, when's it gonna play? And then all of a sudden, oh no, that was at bank shots or Banacheks. So they got all
Play it to the occasion.
yeah. Matter of fact, my wife called me one time and said, "Are you playing music here?" Because I have a certain set of music I always play, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I accidentally while I was at bank shots."
To be fair though, I don't think your music that you play is quite as identifiable as DJ Evan Mertz.
No, but if you know, you know. So when you say DJ Imamura, is it DJ like disc jockey Imamura or? All right, well there, Brandon got one on the board. That probably makes him feel a little bit better. Definitely don't want to go down 4-0 in that set.
Yeah. I was like, gets a little bit confidence back, lets him slowly fight back, and like I said, it's one of those deals in these shorter races to 7 where it's easily able to fight back from being down 3-0 versus down 4-0. See Brandon's first break of the second break of the second set. He broke the very first opening rack.
Size.
Consistently getting that ball down and making work happen. Goes through 4, 6, and 7 are kind of clustered up together, but depending on how he can get down on it, it might not be too bad. Tried to force it a little bit. Ended up getting the shape on the 4 that he wanted to, but this is 3 in the process. But
Yeah, this table, you don't. If you're gonna put something behind it, going in the corner pockets,
you have to hit center pocket
where it says "Nuh-uh, get out of here," spits it back out. It don't. It doesn't even rattle. It just spits it out.
I don't want this. I'm gone. Yeah, that is one of the deals I've noticed with the Predator tables is unlike Diamond, where Diamond, you miss it, you rattle it, and it's painful because it leaves it in the pocket for your opponent. On these Predators, you miss it, and it just denies it from the pocket.
I think Branndon had that shot on the 3-ball at the far corner that rattled and shot all the way back down to the far corner, down the rail.
Nice little shot from Branndon. Tucks back under, hides behind the 6-ball. First time we're going to see Nate grab a jumper.
No, he grabbed it a little earlier.
Did he grab one?
Yeah, he drove it right into the ball in front of him, or he miscued on it.
Yeah, I remember that now, yeah. See if you have a little bit better result off of this one. Ships that 6-ball on his way out. With that with ball in hand, we should see fairly decent little run. Everything has a pocket it can go into, nothing too cluttered up.
So, do you draw this back, play the 5 again, or do you follow it?
Depends on how you're feeling. You know, I'm okay with drawing it back, but you follow it, and you can follow for the 4, 5, 6, or you can draw for the 4, 5, 6. Both kind of give the same outcome. Just kind of depends on what you're more comfortable with, as in terms of being a player, right?
Okay.
Nice little shot pops back out for the 8-ball, and he can just either follow it forward or slide over for the 9-ball in the same pocket he's about to shoot this 8. This is it. Tries to hold it up a little bit more. That's where I think I might favor popping back over and sending the 9 to the same pocket you shoot the 8, because then you can put in with a little bit more conviction.
Plus, it's kind of the same shots he took on the previous 2 shots, so he's already in that feeling rhythm that he hit pretty much just how he needed to.
Nate coming back up to the table right now. Coming back to the table with just 2 balls on it. No, see if would be fairly simple work to get back around with this 9 ball once he bumps into it. And
Yeah.
the rack kind of pushes that 9 ball out a little bit more than it would have normally.
I think it actually kind of helped him.
Yeah. Opens up the angle a little bit more instead of keeping it as compact as it would have been.
Drills it down the table. Gets it.
Nate takes a 4-1 lead in the second set, too.
All right. We're just going to take a couple minute break. Let these guys play for a second. We'll be right back.
All right, and I'm back. Looking at the chat, looks like we might have a little bit of a call out action going. You guys might talk to Mike about that, see if we can get that match going on here on the stream. Nice jump shot from Branndon. Once again, another hit, but nothing quite good. Nice little cut shot on the 2 from Nate. Should be able to take the 4 into the side, and then the real problem, or the key ball, will be getting back up onto the 5 or into the 7 with the shape. Now that there's one of those where we see predator tables really just spitting the balls out. Nate misses it and rattles it, and table throws it out back into the middle of the table to where it doesn't leave the layup shot that you would normally see with a rattle. Brandon missing, getting a little bit of a roll though, hiding behind that 6 ball. See a fancy laid out jump from Nate, maybe. Like he might be reluctant to kick at it instead of going for the stretched out jump. Probably the smarter of the two choices to go for, but definitely not the cooler of the choices. The jump would have been much cooler if he was able to get it going. Brandon with ball in hand. Think has the angle to where he can work down and get the shape on 7. Probably end up just kind of drawing it down table. And through Mike, there's a little bit of what might be appear to be some action that's going down in chat where potential matches to look at, maybe get on the stream.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Some opportunities, some challenges here.
Do you think Nate gonna try and attempt this and bank at it, or do you think he'll play a little bit more safe?
I know what I would do. Yep.
Nate seems to be very much more of a defensive player. He doesn't really take the super aggressive routes to win the racks.
Would you like to guess what I would have done there?
You would have went for the 9.
Oh, well, no, I would have caromed off the 7, the 8, made the 8, and then I'm not very good at defenses. I would have left him wide open. So
Another potential jump from Branndon. Another hit, but this time looks like might leave Nate open a little bit more than he has been.
I think a little firmer than what I would have taken that shot. It was pretty.
That was a little bit more. I wouldn't have thought I was Nate go for that. I would think that he would have taken it all the way down.
Well, his practice strokes look like I'm sending it down the rail.
Yeah.
I think you got to let that ball drop in if you want to take that shot for sure. A little English on it to get it to help.
Yeah, not doing anything too crazy. Not quite where he wanted to, but still left to where it's a makeable shot, just harder than what he wanted to initially.
I think he's be happy with any shot on the 9. We got to get back at the table.
That's true.
Oh,
Few rattles that actually hang up. Talk about another one of those earlier in this rack where Nate was going for the 5 ball, missed the 5 ball rattle, and it popped back out and sent it to the center of the table. With that, Nate takes a 5-1 lead into the second set and has very much control going into the second set. So we might have an interesting third set going through.
No, definitely. I feel Branndon, if he wants a chance to win this, he's definitely gonna have to knock off four of these in a row right now.
Oh yeah.
4 or 5.
Don't let Nate get to the hill until you have 4 or 5 racks under your belt. Here's a chance. Scratch off the break. Josu, I knew you would fire this 9 ball right now.
Well,
However, Brandon's much more classy. He prefers the run out.
Each his own. I like punt returns that are taken back to the house, not the grind from the 20-yard line all the way down. So that's a football reference for you, Seth, just in case you didn't know. Well, Brandon still looks very comfortable.
Oh, yeah. He's one that he's very much similar to David Butler, to where I've never really seen him get too frustrated over how he performs at the table. He's always fairly calm and collected.
I mean, David Butler, my Scotch doubles partner.
You mean the one that carries you to all your victories?
Hey, we're a good team.
It's not what Brandon needed. He need to make this rack out. Like I said, not let Nate get to the hill. Still not an easy shot, but any kind of shot you leave, you don't.
Defense.
You need a combination of a little bit of both. Is make sure that 6 ball hides up behind, or the cue ball hides up behind the 6 ball, and if you make the 5.
I think this one is makeable.
Yeah, he had a full ball at it.
Oh yeah. I guess Brandon had a better angle of the table than I did.
Right. Well, we're a little bit off to the side, our commentator's booth, and then the angles that we have in the camera don't always show what the players actually are seeing.
The rack monster. I'm telling you.
Just threw themselves right on that little spot. I think Nate had this little thought in his brain that he's sitting right on that rack and might throw it off a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, here's Brandon's shot. He's gonna get back in. This is the out here that he needs.
Very much so. This is it. Now the plot twist. Nate's wearing headphones right now. Plot twist would be if he's listening to us. He's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about taking that route."
Yeah, that'd be a horrible idea listening to us. I'm sure most of our viewers have us on mute already.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Well, he's on the hill.
So Nate gets to the hill, gets going, and puts Brandon on the climb to get the second rack or second setting.
You know, I like to say it doesn't matter when you get your 4 or 5, but
As long as you get them.
but it's a lot harder when they're coming from that angle. All right, I will think Kyle's gonna come sit in for me while I take a break. So
What you enjoy, sir. We'll see this
see
last
you on the
break,
third.
and I'll see you coming in the third set. The dry break from Nate. It's not really getting anything off on here, leaving Brandon more opportunities than he would like. Got Kyle coming in right now. How's it going, Kyle?
Not bad. How's it going, Seth?
No, pretty good. Just watching some action full down. Saw Brandon take the first set 7-0, and then Nate has pretty good handle into the second set. You know, he's up 6-1 on the hill.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen with these guys. They're pretty much equal. So, I mean,
Yeah, 4-point difference in the Fargo between the two of them.
yeah, miss a couple shots and they're going to get out on you.
It's probably just about as equal as anybody can get here in town. And a full table go around scratch for Brandon, and
That's rough.
we were talking about a couple rolls for Brandon, let him run away with that first set, and then those rolls really just aren't happening. And a couple rolls for Nate in this set, and these short races to 7 could win the entire match.
Little miscue there.
Chalk is cheap, and not the chalk that we use.
Definitely not. See if Brandon can make him pay.
That's a good little comeback up, and just making balls from here. Nate's a little embarrassed about his miscue. Made the comment, he's like, "Oh my god, everybody saw that."
That's going to happen to everybody.
No, at least it's not like you where you jump the ball off the table 6 times in a row.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. I think I probably hold the record here for that.
Oh, 100%. Brandon didn't roll quite as much as he wanted to on here, but I mean, probably make the 6 and embrace the hit off the 8.
Yeah, I was going to say either run into it. You either got to commit to running into it. Yeah. It's only he hit the top or the bottom side of it instead of the top side of it.
Still pops out though and leaves a shot.
I did hear you guys talking about the rack quite a bit. We almost had it come into play right there again.
Yeah, that's where me and Mike had the conversation earlier on, do you move the rack? Do you leave the rack where it's at? What do you do, Kyle?
I don't know. It does. I usually leave it there until I see that it's going to get in the way, and then I move it.
That was kind of my deal. It's like I'll make my opponent move it more before I move it. Mike's in the club of move it as soon as you can.
That's because he's going wild and trying to run into balls that are typically the 9 balls in the rack, and he's trying to run into it nonstop.
That's true. However, we do see Brandon take his second rack of this second set. Maybe gets a little bit of a comeback going. We got to win five in a row to take home the second set.
Yeah, missing the 9 at 4-1 was pretty.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, if he could get that and get it back to 4-2, he's kind of in it. Now he's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, we did see him take, like I said, that first set 7-0. So he took 7 straight to get that first set. So it's not.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, when it comes down to money shots towards the end of racks, you just can't miss.
Yeah, you have to hold up on them. Make sure that they go into the pocket and not rattle back out. Or just straight miss them.
Oh,
And a little
kissed
bit
it
of
into the
scratch.
side. Pretty unlucky.
So that was one thing I was mentioning earlier with in terms of braking. Branndon, I don't think has had a single dry break. He's made one, if not multiple balls on the break every time, where Nate has had 2 or 3 dry breaks this match, this between these 2 sets.
I know when I was playing with Branndon the other night, he was not particular about the racking, but just in the way that you rack and loading the balls. In this one, you kind of load 8 and push forward, and then if you just load the back ball without making sure everything's tight, it's a lot harder to get the wing ball to go in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you load the 8, push them forward, and then load the last ball and make sure everything's tight, then the wing balls go almost every time. Branndon noticed that right away.
Yeah. So an interesting thought in the chat of saying if the rack can be removed and you choose to leave it there and the cue ball rolls over it, should be considered a foul.
I've not heard anyone say that before, so I don't know how to think of that.
I say it was definitely a different thought that I hadn't heard about either, but
Yeah, I mean, it does bring in an outside force that could change position, but it could hurt you just as bad as it helps you.
yeah. Like or Mike had made a comment earlier in terms of goes through and he had a match the other day that cue ball rolled up and hit the rack and then the rack pushed it into the ball that he was or one of the other balls, so he ended up frozen to a ball instead of he would have had a little bit of a gap.
Oh yeah, I mean I would say it definitely is going to probably hurt you more than it helps you.
It's a little interesting take, something I hadn't heard of before.
No, I haven't. I have not heard of that. I don't know if I would ever really think of playing that way. Like I said, usually the guys are going to move it when it's going to be in the way.
Yeah.
The only time that it gets in the way when they're not expecting is when they miss something real bad, which usually is miss the ball that they're trying to make and then run into another ball. And so there we go. That's one way to do it.
Well, they're playing 10 ball rules, so this goes back over. Like I said, gives Nate the option.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like playing call your pocket too. I don't like the slop side of it.
Goes and play. There was a shot early. I don't know if he had walked in already or not. I think it was the first rack of the set where Branndon missed, slopped his other ball in, and then scratched on top of that, leaving just ball in hand on the 9 ball.
Oh wow.
Whereas like a bad of both worlds type deal. Nate missed the second shot into the side that he's missed in the last couple racks, and
So this one right here too, Brandon's got to be careful with. Make sure he gets on the 9.
does very good on that. Just comes back full table down.
Perfect.
Gets almost as straight as you can be onto it.
Those are the ones right there. Nate doesn't really want to let go away either because you got a fairly easy shot in the side there, and good probability that you're going to get out. So,
yeah, could have very easily been the end of the set right there.
Yeah, that's how you let somebody come back in. I mean,
open the door just a little bit.
Yep. Typically, at this level, they're not going to do it all by themselves. They're not going to break and run 3 or 4 racks in a row. They might get 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, we're not going to see full pack. We saw a break and run earlier from Branndon.
I did see that.
But yeah, like you said, they're not going to put together 2 packs, 3 packs of anything.
Yeah, most likely not. So, I mean, you've got to have some of those breaks where, the other guy misses and gives you a rack.
Goes into the particulars of Brandon's rack, like you said, load 8, push the back ball up instead of just putting them all putting that back ball in there, try and make him tight off of that.
Yeah.
See if you can get another ball in on this break, or if not multiple, and get something going. It's another 2 balls in on this break, and then he has a shot on the 1. Go through if he can keep it simple, get the shapes on the shot. This could very much be potentially another break and run from Branndon.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the key right here. If you can get on the 2, get good on the 2.
Yeah, if you can get good on 2, everything else kind of puts itself together.
Yeah, he's definitely short because I think he was trying to go in the side pocket from there.
Yeah.
So now I have to probably play a defense.
Yeah, go through, hide behind the 9-3, or slide over for the 2.
I sold it.
Like,
So
just see it.
Yeah, this is one right here where I would definitely be moving the rack. So
Yeah, you're shooting completely over the rack without.
yeah, anytime you're shooting over it or you know your shape's going to go through it, I would definitely move it. I wouldn't leave it there, but it doesn't bother Nate. I've seen him do it a couple times now.
But that's what I was kind of telling Mike too, in terms of like, it doesn't bother me too much most of the time. It's more so on the slower speeds that I.
Yeah, slower speed definitely is going to make way more difference. Because there also is, I mean, there's little holes in the rack
Yeah.
to hold the balls in place. So, I mean, if you've got to shoot over one of those at slow speed, there's
Boom, 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 boom.
yeah, good chance that it's not going to roll true.
Yeah. That was a nice shot from Branndon. Nice and smooth. Come back down and up table.
Yeah, got a little bit of work.
I don't. They didn't pop it out of the table this time though.
Yeah, no, that one. I mean, usually when it doesn't pop it out like that, it's usually means it's pretty deep in there when it misses.
Yeah.
A little short again, but not bad.
No, just to be able to make it, bring the cue ball 3 rails around.
Yep.
Just like that.
So he did 2. I think 3 gets him a little bit closer to the work.
Yeah, but he might have been conscious of a potential scratch on the side or something like that.
It's a good shot.
Back up and.
Again, I'd be moving it right here too, especially for the set.
But he still drills it. Gets the second set. Nate takes it 7-3. And we will be seeing a third set coming through right here. We've seen a 7-0 and a 7-3. What's your prediction for this third set?
I think close. I think they both kind of got used to it now. I think Branndon kind of jumped out. Branndon probably plays on the table quite a bit more.
Yeah,
I know he plays a lot more than Nate does on this table.
Yeah.
So I think Nate might be getting used to it a little bit.
Who is your prediction to take the set?
I don't know. I think the first few racks are going to be pretty critical. So I mean, we've also seen, whoever jumps out to the lead first, that person's kind of run away.
Yeah.
So I think the first couple racks are going to be pretty critical. I think that person, if they get out to 2 or 3 rack lead, they probably have a
Good chance
really,
of taking.
really high chance.
One of the better breaks from Nate that we've seen this set, but still one of those things where he didn't really get anything. No love from it. Hides 5 ball kind of rolls out and hides.
Yep.
see him push out and get that. And see Branndon come to the table, and I think we'll see him take this because he can kick it and stick it. And
Yeah. Kick it. If he hits the low side of it, he can actually get right behind the 6.
yeah. Oh, he could see
He
it.
could actually see the whole ball. So again, that was a situation where he shot right over the rack and left the cue ball in the rack.
He moves the ball a little bit. We're not an all ball foul type of stream. We're a cue ball foul only stream, so it's kind of it belongs. See him drop straight into that side or that corner pocket.
I've not seen many games here in town that are all ball fouls. I don't think I've seen any.
It's one of those deals for all ball foul. We kind of really need a ref to be able to make it go through, and nobody's really want to sit here and ref. I'm
not.
Like, yeah. I've been there and I've ref for APA nationals, and I don't want to ref here. I'll ref when I'm down there, but when I'm here, I much prefer just to leave it to them.
How was that reffing?
It wasn't bad. I enjoyed my time, but I would definitely do it again.
Get any questionable ones where you thought you might have made a mistake?
No, I don't think so. In terms of making a mistake, there's a couple that people didn't know the rule and were upset with the ruling that I gave them. But then when I showed them how it's read in the book, they kind of understood, and they just didn't. It's a local difference between how they played locally versus how they played in the actual national rule book.
Interesting. All right, looks like Branndon should be able to get out here. Pretty elementary out.
Yeah, just kind of a little bit of a draw, pop it back down.
Definitely didn't get as close as he wanted to at all.
Go through, seeing if he can make this, take that early lead. That might be critical.
There we go. So good out, even though he didn't get the position that he wanted, he still was able to roll that one in pretty easy.
Yeah. And like I said, so far, if it's held true, the first 2 sets, the person who took that first rack ended up taking the set. So we'll see if Branndon can keep that tradition going.
Yeah.
I'm feeling whichever way it goes, I'm going to say 7-5 will be the final total.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good. I think it should be pretty close. I mean, so they played 17 racks and they're at 10-7. Brandon's won 10.
Yeah.
Nate's won 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, either way, it should be pretty close.
And then another deal where me and Mike were talking earlier is the multiple sets makes a difference of this, right? Because if it was just one longer race, Nate would still be down right now, 10-3. Whereas now they did 2 sets and they're even off of it.
10-7, but yes.
Yeah. What did I say?
10-3.
Oh, you knew what I meant.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a little bit different mentality, right? So even if you win all 3, you're still playing all 3 sets in a long race to 21. It's much different than short races.
Yeah, if you get down to that early deficit where your opponent's kind of running away, it's a much more grind to get back into it.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it's almost easier. I don't know. If somebody jumps out on you 6 or 7-0, but they still got to win 15 racks,
that's true.
You know, you've got a lot of room to mess up.
Whereas
if you get down quick in 2 racks or 2 sets, down 3 or 4-0, you're pretty much almost out of it at this level. Because I mean, they're going to screw up some shots, but they're not going to screw up sets. And playing a longer race is definitely a grind. I mean, the whole thing is a grind.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer. You got, I mean, like we said, you're playing 3 sets to 7 here. But if you play a race to 21 and it's 21-18, I mean, that's a long match. To where you play 3 sets to 7, you could have some bigger swings that make it go a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's true. Or you could still have also the all hill matches to win.
Yeah. I mean, if you do that, then you're going to be in them for a long round or a long match anyways.
Good shot from Branndon, but not quite enough off that third rail coming back around.
Yeah,
Looks like he's going to try and attempt to cut this all the way in.
so I was going to say best to overcut there.
Bring it back out into the middle table, then undercut it and rattle it.
Yeah. This is going to bring it off the rail. If you overcut it, you're going to leave it on the head rail or the short rail.
Yeah.
But he kind of ended up pretty good here. I mean, he's pretty much 50-yard line here.
Yeah, pops it back out to the center table to where Nate has choices, and sometimes choices is not what you want in terms of this. You'd much rather have something where you can hard commit to it.
Yeah. Really nice shot.
He cuts it, the cue ball track into that side or that corner pocket. Not quite there, so
really good shot.
Going through 1-1. First time somebody hasn't climbed out to any kind of lead after the first couple racks. Still kept it even.
Like we said, this one should be close.
See if Nate can get a little bit of a better breaks than he's been getting.
Yeah, I mean, you would think at this point they've kind of adjusted a little bit.
Kind of dialed the brakes in.
Yeah. Whereas, I might hit and hope a little bit. These guys can kind of dial it in to where they know speed and spin, as Mike would say, how to get the ball where they want it.
Makes a couple balls, but draws it straight into that corner pocket.
I think that's the second time I've seen him do that.
His breaks have been what's not going his way, killing him. But
yeah, so there's obviously a little adjustment he wants to make there because, I mean, he definitely doesn't want to be scratching on breaks at all. But if you're doing the same thing over and over, there needs to be an adjustment.
Yeah. If you're getting the same results, then there's obviously something that you're doing wrong. Doesn't play too, kind of touched on it a little bit, but the different styles of play. Brandon's a little bit more of an aggressive player than Nate is. Nate's been, like, those bank shots that Brandon's been taking, Nate's been laying up on him, not really taking those chances, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's risk reward. So, I mean, if Branndon can see a big enough reward in it, I feel like he's going to go for the shot a lot. To where, I mean, it's kind of the scenario of playing to win versus trying not to lose on one shot.
Yeah. Nice long shot from Branndon, but still doesn't come up quite as much as he wants to. But I think we'll still see him attempt to cut into the side.
Yeah, it looks like he should be able to cut it in and then come up with. Oh no, he's going to play defense.
Gonna play low.
I can't see the angle. I mean, I'm right in front of it and can't really see the angle. It looked like he was cutting it in the side with high right.
Or do we just not know what we're talking about?
That's a good possibility.
I think that 9-ball blocks a little bit too much. We'll see probably a 2-rail escape from Nate. Come back in, maybe send the cue ball back behind the 9 and the 8 on the side that is trending towards. Just like that.
These are the ones that I've been trying to work on a little bit in my own game, is not necessarily just going for the hit, but if you see he goes for the hit right there and he purposely hits the bottom side of the 5 to push the 5 up table.
Yeah.
Now he probably hit it a little bit too hard, and that's why it came back down table. But I mean, he leaves the cue ball down here, and ideally you hit the bottom side of it and ship the 5 up table.
Yeah,
You've got a
you're defensing your kicks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where going the 2 rail option in that case was the way to do it versus going the 1 rail.
yeah.
See Nate come to the table after that slop shot and see if he can put together the rest of this rack.
Well, that's another one like right there where you're saying Brandon's being super aggressive right there playing a crossbank.
Yeah.
You see, this is probably just the different levels of player right here too, because I feel like I probably would have rolled that forward to try to get a little bit closer than trying to shoot this shot that he's left with here on the 8. But these guys are a lot more well versed in longer shots than I would be.
Right. Both of them have a little bit more practice on the 9-footers than you may necessarily.
Yeah, a lot more confidence in those shots than I would have. Nice out.
See Nate take the 2 back-to-back after Brandon's opening rack win. So hopefully they're going to keep this one a little bit closer than the other ones have been.
So Seth, what made you come up with the idea to play straight pool tournament tomorrow?
Yeah, I was wanting to do a little bit of different games, not just stick to our traditional 9-ball or 10-ball that we've done on here. And I went kind of back and forth with straight pool, 1 pocket. I'm currently workshopping an idea to maybe play some snooker on a 9-footer. I know it'd be a little bit different, wouldn't quite be the same as playing on a 12-footer, but probably the best we have here in town to be able to play it. And so, like, I'm thinking about maybe doing like 6 red snooker on one of them, but just like I said, thinking about different types of games that you don't normally see and playing on the first one to be straight pool. 14.1, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, like I said, we have 8 people, all between 475 and 525-ish range in terms of Fargo coming down, and we'll do short races to 50.
See how it goes. Hopefully it goes kind of fast.
So I kind of allotted for about an hour or so, hour and a half. I have an hour and a half time limit on them. So whenever the hour and a half time limit hits, both players will get 1 more turn at the table to try and finish out their run, and then if needed, reach their 50 goal. Whoever has the highest will take that match.
Should be pretty interesting because I know nobody has experience really playing it. So.
Yeah, I think, like I said, was telling Mike earlier, I think out of everybody, Stan Pryor is probably the one that would have the most experience.
Maybe. I mean, it's a game that I've never really played. I mean, me and Mike messed around playing one the other night. It's a game that I've not played, but it's just like anything else, except you shoot a lot of short shots.
Yeah.
So many options. So.
See, Nate just barely missed that. He thought he made it and walking over to the next ball, and then ended up holding up.
Pockets are unkind, even at slow speed. See, I got Branndon bump a ball. He's gonna drop it back too.
Brandon bumps into that 7 on the way out and still is able to hold up for that 5. Brandon getting a little bit closer than he probably would have liked to his work.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to use a bridge right here. He's going to try to do the extension, but that's a long way across the table. And it's the diagonal way too, so it's even longer. Yeah, he's going to have to get the bridge. So this is definitely one part of the game that if you don't practice, it is way harder than it looks.
Yeah, coming from people who generally only play on 7-footers to playing on 9-footer where you actually have to use a bridge. on a 7-footer, if you have any kind of height, you can, for the most part, reach every shot on the table. But once you get to that 9-footer where you get the stretch, you definitely have to make sure you can bridge, make balls, and get your shape.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've used the bridge a little bit just playing on the 9-footer, but I try to stay away from it at all possible because I'm just not used to it.
Yeah, it's outside of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
Just throws a hitch into your normal shot routine.
Yeah, and I mean, I even got an extension for the 7-footers because I'm not the tallest. I can reach almost everything, but on those ones that you can't reach, it's such a huge advantage to play with a extension versus a bridge.
Yeah.
All right, and just kind of like what we talked about before, missing those balls towards the end of racks, got just a little bit too close to his work. Branndon, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
had to check out. Not only be close to his work, but he was stretched out with the bridge and just made it no fun for him. Nate takes 3-1 lead into this third set.
Yeah, so this is a big game right here, right? So I mean, 3-2 versus 4-1 in a race to 7 is huge.
Oh yeah, I'll say it's definitely one that Branndon wants to make sure. Both of them want to make sure that they get.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one right here for Nate. I mean, if Nate can get this one, he's probably a pretty big favorite to win the set.
Yeah, and he can kind of coast through the rest of.
Yeah, to where it really would put the pressure on Branndon to not make some mistakes.
Which Nate, even if he does lose this one, he's still in good shape because he's still up a rack up in the set.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you got to look at it from the perspective of 3-2 is still good for you, but that's where, in my opinion, you got to still keep your foot on the gas pedal. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, you can't relax and let them back in.
Yeah, no, you can't go. Okay, I'm up a rack, so I can, afford to lose one. No, you got to keep your foot on their neck and try to finish it off.
Yeah. Don't get too relaxed, so that's how you end up losing.
We have defense here. Let's see if Brandon can get him behind the ball, though, rather than. I think he's going to leave the edge of the one.
Yeah, so I think Brandon or Nate can still clip it, but
yeah, I think ideally I might have tried to get down here behind the 9, hit it a little bit harder, but use the 4 to stop it.
good speed from Nate. We'll use that bank shot that Brandon's been kind of aggressive towards, but
yeah, this is one that I think I could see him going for just from where the 2's at. But
I like the defense.
Right as we say that, no.
Nate looks like Nate. Yeah, he's gonna go down 3. I wasn't sure for a second if he was gonna hit the 4 and just roll up the 4 to the 1. Goes for the hit.
Well, I would assume they're playing 3 foul also, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another one of those aggressive banks that come short, go to the opposite corner.
I was gonna say, so that's one to me right there where I'm looking at that going, the one that you had before that was probably easier than that.
But also, how much other choice did Brandon have on that shot versus the other shot, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true as well.
Like I said, it goes into play of you leave choices. You don't necessarily want to give your opponent choices.
Yeah.
But then as a player, sometimes it's better to just have, oh, I can only go on this one shot instead of ending up on that 50-yard line to where you're like, oh, maybe this one or that one. A miss from Nate. They used Branndon a shot on 3 up into the corner or up into the side pocket. Kind of rolled the cue ball onto the other side of the 4 and shoot the 4 all the way down into the corner.
Yep.
Plus kind of defensing a little bit in case he does miss this 3.
Yeah, I think the idea is if he didn't get the right angle right here, he could play the defense onto the back of the 8.
Yeah. Just like that. Pops through, leaves it to where makes Nate either have to kick at it or jump at it, and I don't think Nate wants to jump. Nate's 0 for 2 in terms of his jumps tonight.
Well, and I definitely think he wanted to be on the back of the 8 right there.
Yeah.
So I think he's still probably not 100% happy with that because he left a good amount of room between the cue ball and the 8. So
Yeah.
he's left him
Left
whatever part of the long rail he wants to hit.
Runs into that 9, gives the ball in hand back over to Branndon.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have guessed right there that Nate would have been a favorite to hit that probably 75% of the time or more.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Again, a little short.
Yeah. Branndon calls that cross bank to the side. Nope, misses this
Makes it
one.
the opposite side.
Nope. As it goes up on that rail and ends up in probably the best spot that could have left off of that miss. You know, if he made it, then there's the shot off into 7, but him missing it and it really butting up right against that rail is one of the good rolls for him.
And this is one that guys of this caliber also are going to get pretty close to the corner pocket in making this shot as well.
Yeah. This dude gives Branndon another opportunity up at this rack.
Yeah, I think Brandon's really got to close this out because this is pretty easy layout for these guys.
Yeah, he has to close the deal, get it 3-2, and then go that, but just misses it. But rolled up behind that 9, made it at least somewhat tricky for Nate to solve it. Branndon leaves himself a long shot all the way down table, but if he makes it, he's kind of probably a similar shot on the 9 ball.
This is, like the setup we were saying, that was a pretty easy setup that Branndon had.
It's made it a little bit more difficult for himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, and he's going to end up making the more difficult out.
That was another terms of play styles between the two of them is Nate's much more just rolling the ball, pocket speed, taking your natural shots, whereas Branndon's kind of forcing the balls to the cue ball to do what he wants it to do. But with that, he makes it 3-2, brings it together, and we have ourselves a little bit of a match. Closest we've seen so far.
Yep, and that was a big game right there. Big rack.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, if Branndon loses that, he goes down 4-1 versus now being down 3-2 is huge.
Yo, turn me up in the headphones. No. The yellow twist. There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Bringing Mike back into the stream right now. How this soundboard?
No idea.
He's definitely not a producer.
Mike, what do you think so far of this third set going through? You've kind of been off to the side watching it a little bit.
I was interested in my breaker bites
Oh.
and French fries, but I've been keeping an eye. It's definitely interesting.
No, my prediction start of this match was didn't know who it was gonna be, but I said the 7-5 split. You know, we've had a 7-0, we've had a 7-3. I think this is gonna be a 7-5.
Just don't know what side yet.
You know, going into this match, I probably would have thought Branndon, but I mean, Nate's kind of had a couple good racks, took early control of the match. You know,
Nate's definitely feeling a little better,
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
more and comfortable.
he's feeling a lot better than he was in that first set.
Yeah, I think it took him a little while to get used to the table. He was kind of mentioning that when I was over to the side that he's not used to him, and he said he hates the way the pockets are super tight or they play super tight.
Well, if you put it in the center, it drops.
That's it, just like any other table.
I do know he shared his music with me, and he's listening to Olivia Newton-John from Greece.
Really?
Definitely not what I thought he was listening to. No Migos or anything like that.
So, what song?
I don't know the title of the song.
Can you give us a
It was
little?
not Grease Lightning or Summer Loving.
I was like, can you give us a little excerpt of the song?
No, not her song. I do know Grease Lightning. We'll save that for karaoke night, though.
Okay. One of those unfortunate misses where everything's pretty spread out. I mean, we haven't seen Branndon run so many of them.
Good opportunity right here.
But yeah, that last rack, Branndon had a similar opportunity where he still ended up getting the rack, but he didn't close out quite how we thought he would.
Yeah, he missed the 6 to start, and then Nate missed it, and he got out from there. But this should be, again, tic-tac-toe a little bit. So that's a weird
That's a
choice
little
here.
kind of forcing it to go through instead of just slow rolling it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving the cue ball a lot when the layout really didn't
require it.
Yeah, it didn't require him to move it near as much as he did.
Now, with that, he's kind of found himself in a difficult situation where the 6 ball doesn't go into down in that corner pocket, and the cut into the side pocket's pretty thin.
Yeah, they were trying to challenge us on something over here. Told them they were crazy. They wanted to go Nate Henry versus Mike and Kyle.
Yeah, we'll call that the mismatch of the century.
That's about 140 Fargo points. 120.
So I'm just noticing this. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. Have you ever seen Branndon wear earplugs or?
No, this is the first time. So what I did notice, he started off with the jacket, won the first round set. In the second set, after the first 2 racks he lost, he took the jacket off. And then the first set of this one, he took his hat off, and then he put the hat back on the second set with the earplugs. So I've been noticing that. I was just like, he was trying to get in a comfort zone when you start taking things on and putting them back on. I feel like,
Yeah.
Is it earplugs or is it actual like
earbuds?
I'd say, yeah, they look like headphones.
Oh, okay.
Just not the as noticeable Apple versions.
Say, I don't know. I'm like an old man. I don't know. I don't have any of those ear things.
Bluetooth, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of zone in. I don't really hear anything going on when I'm like really focused on playing. So I guess I just don't notice it.
Is that Nate on 2?
I don't know.
I think that might be Nate being on 2. So we may see Branndon attempt to try and 3-foul him, maybe. I mean, the run out's there.
Yeah, I don't think he will, especially knowing Branndon. I don't see him go for that stuff a lot. He always goes to, keep it in his power to get out.
I was telling Mike, Branndon is very classy in terms of who he does. He goes for the runouts. He doesn't go for those crazy early nines like some people.
That's true. But a win's a win, baby.
Rack's a rack.
Honestly, I just don't go for him because I am not good at it at all. So sometimes I try to force myself to, bring out my inner Mike and throw the cue ball around at another ball. But most of the time I'm just not. I just don't see the shots.
I might not be a great pool player, but I'm pretty decent at those shots.
Saw a miss from Branndon. Does it roll enough? Ooh, I don't think that rolled quite enough to where makes it weird for Nate to come back up. I think he can still cut this in, get a 4-2 lead.
That's super, super tight. And the problem is if he misses it,
It leaves it
it's
right.
yeah, he's got to hit it so thin that it's going to leave it in the pocket.
I think, like I said, I think it's one of those though you have to go for it. You can't.
Yeah, it's one of those you have to go for it, but
Like he might be.
yeah, but do you kick at it like he's going to do?
Going for the cool factor shot.
Got it. Very nice shot.
Well, I think the way you look at that is if you miss it trying to shoot at it, which was a hard shot directly at it.
Yeah, you're selling out if
he's going to win either way. So he had a higher probability of which he actually hit the ball of it going in the side pocket over there with the rail and everything.
Yeah, I think if you go for that shot to cut it in, you've got to hit it so thin that it's not going to help you any if it misses unless you hit it really hard. And if you hit it really hard, it's going to lessen your chance of making it.
Yeah. With that, Nate takes 4-2. Needs 3 racks left in this third set.
Yeah, and again, so we're back in the same situation we were just in the last rack where this is a huge rack for Branndon.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Branndon to be putting together racks here.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot by Branndon. Goes through, can the cue ball get through? He has a shot on 2. And if he can get back down on the 3, I mean, we've said a couple times it hasn't gone through, but everything's spread out. It's nothing too crazy. Just making this 2 and getting a shot onto the 3 that he can take away.
Yeah.
Hit a little bit more of a defensive break or a defensive shot, hitting that 8 ball. Big puts it through, and we'll see maybe Nate trying to attempt another jump.
Yep. Here comes the short stick.
He's 0 for 2 in his jump.
Looking at the backside of it, looks like he's aimed off. So I'm looking right down the barrel.
He hits again. Same thing he did on his last jump, where he just kind of clipped that ball as he kind of on his way out.
Yeah, currently he's 0 for 3.
Gives Brandon the opportunity and see where he can go kind of puts him in that same situation where you just kind of need to put the balls into the holes. And
Yeah. I think again right there, he kind of got himself a little funky without getting a really good shot. I'm gonna say he got himself a little funky right off the bat. He didn't make the 2 and leave it down the rail. He kind of came out to where he left
Yeah.
himself in a weird spot.
Nice little recovery from him.
Absolutely.
See, he moves the rack.
It's like he's gonna get the extension out again.
I think this one, even if he does need a bridge, he's not as close to his work as he was on the last time. Able just to make the ball and roll back up just like that for the 7 ball.
Yeah. And he's left himself a really good angle right now to get back to the 8.
Yeah, a little bit of bottom right. Come back down.
2 rails, long rail.
Just like that. And then you can poke down to the corner. Into the diagonal corner from where he just made that 8 ball.
Right. Now we got the shot that I absolutely hate. From the center pocket, shooting to the corner. I don't know why, but I struggle with it so bad.
So does Branndon.
Dude, it's a shot that literally catches me by surprise at how often I missed it when I was practicing.
Honestly, go through a relatively easy shot that was missed by Branndon. Results from what could have been 4-3. So from the looks of it, might be 5-2. And it is.
All right, so that's a huge miss right there. That's a possible momentum shift right there.
Yeah. So, like I said, Nate comes up 5-2, and like we said, from comparatively to that first set, night and day.
Yeah. So I mean, he did mention to me when I came in after that first set. He said, "Hey, man, I played well. Had 7 9 balls and made all 7 of them that I shot." So he definitely was uh, feeling it and knowing that he was playing well, and it's kind of dropped off a little bit, and he's missing a little bit later. And some of those important 9s, I think he's missed 2 9s or 3
Yeah.
that I've seen just in the last
Last
10 racks, probably.
Another break that ends up in a scratch from Nate. That's what, 3 or 4 scratches on the break.
Yeah, I think I've seen at least 3.
So this is pretty much where Branndon needs to.
He needs to take full advantage of this right now.
Yeah, this is now it's like I said, it compounds even more. So it was important. It was important to win the last rack. Now it's a must win. He's
Yes.
got to win this rack.
As the longer he can keep Nate from getting on the hill, the better it's going to be for him. Because there's always that. I mean, Nate needs 2 racks. He's not quite as relaxed as he might be if he only needs 1 rack, and you don't want your opponent to be relaxed.
Well, and if you could throw 2 racks together, make it 5-4. Now you're letting the other guy watch you. You're putting a little bit more pressure on them to come with shots to beat you.
Exactly. Comes back around. Goes through another one of Branndon should be able to go through, but he just misses that 6 ball and does it go in, not quite. It's probably a decent little lead for Branndon that he missed. Yeah, left the 6 ball at a weird spot over that side pocket to where Nate had to do something a little fancier.
Yeah, I think maybe you just try to make that in the side.
Yeah, it depends on the angle that he had actually at the table.
Looks like I would just make that in the side.
Probably. But yeah, looking at the replay.
Yeah, would have came back around for the 7.
Yeah.
Well, not only, getting this rack, but keeping Nate off the table and make him watch you play.
Exactly.
I think going to be key here.
Like, see, I can run racks too.
Again, though, a little short.
I say he's not. His positional shots haven't been quite what they were.
Yeah, the speed's just a little bit off.
That was a good
Shot.
Good recovery. Went a little bit longer than he probably wanted to, but still not too bad.
All right. So Branndon gets that. Now, again, I would say this is still a must-win game.
Branndon basically needs to win until he makes it at least 5-5.
Yeah, if he can even it out, then he's kind of going good. And he's got confidence at that point, winning 3 in a row. And you've got the momentum shift on your side.
That's a very much an underrated thing that I don't think people necessarily talk about as much as the momentum of a match.
Oh, yeah, if you can control the momentum and the table itself, I mean, just breaking, because Brandon's obviously breaking better than Nate is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he can control the table, it gives him a much better potential to win the rack right from the start.
Yeah, Brandon has had the only break and run that we've seen tonight so far.
Yeah, so the question earlier was, what kind of table would Nate have at the house? He has a 9-foot gold crown.
Gold crown.
Yeah, he does. I've not played on it before. I have been asked, but it was kind of a matchup similar to what was offered earlier.
Anytime they want Daniel to be on your team, it's kind of an off matchup, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always matches that can be played. Just got to make the right matchup. Definitely not against playing a little bit, getting a little bit of action.
Ooh.
I'll say it's the second time today that Nate's dropped his cues. A little bit of a roll. See if Nate can get out of this jump shot that he's probably going to take. Make it 1 for 4 instead of.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to jump this one. I think the 3's too close to in his way as well. Unless he's going to go short rail and kick into it with the jump. But I think this is a better option for him at this point.
Ooh,
Let's say not quite.
just a hair.
See if Brandon can bring it back into this right now. Make it 5-4 instead of 6-3. Nice simple shape. Just pop back down, get onto that 3 ball. Able to hold it up for the 5.
Now this is going to be the key right here. Hitting on the 6.
Coming down, do you try and get on the right side or the left side of that 8 ball?
No, I think he's going to draw it down as far as he can.
Like
Yeah,
that, yeah.
there you go.
Get on that right side.
His key shot here is getting shape on that 7 with the 9 getting pushed over like that.
With him pushing the 9, though, running into the 9, it's a little bit better than what it would have been. He can play for a much wider range of shape versus having to get as perfect as he would have had.
Now he's probably going to have to go rail first and try to.
Oh, yeah, that 9 ball got in the way for sure.
He played that really fast. So I feel like I feel like he was trying to play a defense right there, kick and stick behind the 9. where if he kind of would have taken his time, he might have actually been able to make it or had a better outcome with the kick and stick than how fast he shot it. Didn't look like he really lined it up.
Yeah,
100%.
just kind of got down and fired away at it.
And I think that's being unhappy from his lead that he left himself.
Nate not leaving himself quite where he's been wanting to be at.
You come 2 rails and back underneath it, or do you stay on the top side of it and shoot it down? And yeah, he's going to go try to go 2 rails and come back underneath it, but just missed the shot.
So like I said, kind of didn't roll quite where he wanted to be and left himself a harder shot than he needed to have. Ooh. Barely drops down.
Rattle Monster almost got him. All right, bear down. Super important. Get it to 5-4 right here.
Yeah, don't let Nate on the hill. And just
Shot.
like that, comes through and keeping it closer.
Yeah,
They are keeping it close in this match.
your all's 5-7 prediction
We're looking pretty good.
might be here. Just counting players, seeing what kind of what we can line up after this. There's 8 of us here, by the way.
We're not playing a ring game.
I was thinking maybe a little doubles chip challenge,
Maybe.
since there's enough of us that actually want to play, rather than even having
Potentially.
to sit out, and we can make some pretty even teams.
Once again, Brandon's just consistently putting down balls on the break compared to Renee's probably close to like a 50%.
Well, and he's got the option right here, Yeah, see, is he going to go for it or is he going to play a defense? And I mean, I feel like I played a defense right there.
Another one of those where he kind of got down and it seemed he fired at it really quickly.
He knows what he wants to do. I mean, he's confident in those shots, obviously.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't fault him for that.
Well, his bank shots have been on point in this
Yeah,
game. He's
I
hit
mean-
a few, especially in the first set too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a gutsy to go for that right there. That's pretty gutsy. He gets kind of weird, makes the bank on the 2, and then misses the 3 that he should make.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, the match with Kevin and David. I didn't see very many bank shots in those games.
Well, even in this one, it's been a lot more of Brandon taking those bank shots than Nate. Nate's been any of those bank shots, he's been kind of playing more safeties than anything. Also go through not easiest of shape to get back down to the 5 and the 6 being on the rail like how it is. It leaves Nate the opportunity.
Real thin with a lot of right. Try to pull it down to get shape on the 5.
Like that, but hides up behind that 9 ball. Hit it, but scratches. Goes through and leaves Brandon the chance to be able to put the cue ball almost exactly where he wants it to be on the 6 ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was best case scenario for something like that to happen to be able to get good shape on the 6.
I do not have noticed Brandon has a couple questionable ball in hand shots though that he's taken. So hopefully he just keeps it simple here. And
Yeah. Patterning his head is maybe not the optimal way, but
It's like, okay,
kept that as simple as it could be.
you feel better now,
yeah.
Kyle?
I thought for a second there he was going to go forward and come off the short rail to get shape.
Nice, kept it to the rail, made the 6, and then kind of roll up has a little bit of an angle, I think.
I think he's pretty straight.
So he's
Definitely
playing it
gonna
with the
have to-
top.
Gonna have to force it, yeah.
So he's playing it with the top. He had that little bit of an angle that he can do it. Another one of those going through 9 balls on the rack, so he has to kind of scoot it over.
That's another one right there too, where I think have to force it real. Oh, that's a really good shot.
Very beautiful. Comes back around, avoids scratch.
Nice out, Branndon.
And he has brought it back to it's now an even race at 5 apiece. So if is Brandon going to keep his?
Does someone go 2-0 from here and you get it exactly right?
Maybe.
Or do we see Hill for all the marbles?
Well, like we said, for him to have a chance, he really needed to stay at the table, and he was at the table the majority of those last 3 racks.
Yeah. And so for him to basically sit Nate down for 3 racks straight.
Yeah, and I mean, how big would it be right now? We know Branndon has the capabilities, already done it tonight, break and run. How big would that be right now?
Oh, it'd be massive. Come through, sit Nate down for 3 racks, and then break and run an entire rack. Don't even let him to the table. This drains the confidence of a player, definitely, and boosts Brandon's up.
Well, whoever gets this one's gonna have to be double dipped.
8 ball down.
Left himself not the best of shots on the 1 ball.
I'm predicting if he can see it, bank shot. Yep.
Yeah, go
Big
through,
pocket.
make the 4 ball off the 4 ball.
Make the 4. Nope, almost.
And then
Defense.
goes through is if you miss it, it leaves it difficult. So that ball kind of fought through a little bit of a mess to leave a shot open for Branndon. Leave a ball.
I didn't think he could see it, but watching it back, I guess you can barely see the side of it. It's a good shot.
Very nice speeds from Branndon. His speed control seems to be a lot better than it was at the start of the set.
Yeah, I think getting to the table is a big thing, right? So, he got to the table, he ran 3 racks, get a little bit more comfortable.
That was a good shot from Nate. So was it ball in
Yeah, I think it was, but he's already picked it up.
Yeah, so we're looking at the replay right now. Yeah, it was. I'll say from the live shot, it was hard to tell if the cue ball went back into that.
Yeah, I thought the cue ball might have come back too.
Rolled just enough. Leaves Nate the cut all the way down, but It's a lot better to leave Nate that than to leave him the easy duck in the side pocket.
Yeah.
Shot from Nate comes through. Is it going to drop? Just
Ooh,
barely.
It thought about it.
He'll go through. If he can go down, get a decent shape on the 6 into the side pocket, then might get Nate back up onto the hill.
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, you can see again the style right here where he doesn't really move it a whole lot to get it closer, just more of a shot maker's mentality where it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be there.
Yeah, and very much gets back around it. So now this should be a rack to Nate and putting Nate back up on the hill.
Nice shot. That should get Nate on the hill first.
Very nice out from Nate.
Yeah, well, that definitely worked out well for him.
Was there, are we going to see Nate take this last rack to give it the 7-5 win to him in 2 sets out of the 3? Or do you think Brandon's going to get this rack and make it hill and make it an interesting game?
I think a lot's going to depend on the break. So we've already mentioned how Nate struggled with the break. If he can get a good break, I think he has an advantage, but you know, he's been giving that away right back to Branndon almost every time he's breaking.
Either dry breaks or scratches on the break or whatever the case may be.
And
I'd say he made one.
A good time for him to come with a perfect break.
Yeah. I'd say 2 rolled a little bit closer than he would have liked to, but
yeah, not a lot of love there, but I mean, at least he can see it. He can do what he wants to do.
yeah. Back around. Would have been a very nice shot if he would have made that. 5 ball come, not quite comes
I
in.
think you can see the 2 also, so but really going to be really hard to get back to the 3. A lot of traffic and all the way around the table.
That was a very nice attempt on that cut, though. And he got back on the 3 where he wanted it.
I'll say it was very, very close. And so he almost drilled it. Branndon comes through if he can fight through all that clutter down there. Come through, leaves himself at least a shot on the 3 ball.
Yeah. Open shot on the 3 again. He can do whatever he kind of wants to do now. I think he was trying
same thing earlier.
That's not good. At this point, that's not good.
No. Like I say, he did the same thing earlier where he tried, it was a thinner cut that he either missed or just barely hit on the way in and then hit that short rail and then knocked it all the way out and ended up scratching off of both of them. Yeah, like you said, leaves Nate the opportunity to come through. He'll try to spin it around, get a little fancy on his shape, and
Yep. That's one of the first times I feel like I've seen him really try to get perfect.
yeah. Or still another one of those where he really didn't have to because he could have just kind of played it safe, rolled up, and then took the 6 into either of those corner pockets instead of trying to get it off onto the side.
All right, so this is going to be a big shot for Branndon to get onto the 7 to get shape on the 8.
Yeah. So as long as he doesn't end up straight, which
He looks like he's got a little
Yeah, I
bit of
see.
an angle,
He has a
but
tad of an angle, but not as much as he would have liked.
again, reaching diagonal across the table again too. Just a bad time for that.
Yeah. So we'll see him grab his extension, try and work it out off the extension, maybe have to have him grab the bridge as well.
I don't think he'll need the bridge, but it's just all the way stretched out.
Yeah, I'll say he's not
trying to put some power behind it.
not quite as stretched out as he was on the bridge shot earlier. Gonna go through, is he gonna hit it?
Oh, he's gonna do perfect.
That was very pretty. That was best case scenario as he could have been. The only thing could have been better was if 8-ball hung up for the side pocket instead of having to shoot it down in the corner.
And this is one me and Branndon actually talked about. So he's shooting it down the rail. Last time he tried to slow roll it and he missed. And he said he should just come across to the other side. So let's see if he does that this time. Let's see, he's kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, he's going back and forth on it right now. Tries some kind of defense. Goes through. I mean, I don't think it comes around quite how he wanted it to.
I think that's totally not believing in what shot you wanted to hit.
I think he was afraid of the scratch with it in the side.
I don't think it was going to scratch. I think he was undecided on whether to slow roll it or to try to roll it to the other side of the table. I would assume Nate's going to try to back cut this in. Nope, he's going to play defense too.
Yeah.
You can see again, not trying not to make a miss that turns into a big mistake.
Yeah, and that. Nate's been nailing these kind of go through and hide both balls behind a single ball.
Yeah, not necessarily a lockup safety, but a terrific zone safety.
Yeah.
I think Branndon needed to go for it on the 8-ball.
I think he did too. That's what I'm saying. I think like I said earlier, he had mentioned how in another set that he was playing somebody, he shot the exact same shot, slow rolled it, and missed it.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted to slow roll it again and then second guessed himself. And instead of coming across, he played a defense.
It goes into play of where, like I said earlier, you got to be fully committed to what your shot is. And
what a beautiful shot.
Great. So he was able to come up with that shot. Can he get this? He's going to cut this into the side.
What a great out to make it hill.
Goes hill into this final set.
Well, what do we know?
Yeah, that's a
exactly
big.
Yeah, that 8-ball shot all the way down to drill it into the pocket, and then I'm honestly surprised he didn't go for the bank on that 9, just because he's been so bank happy tonight.
Yep, and I mean, with that kick, even with the speed that he hit it at, if he misses, it's a sellout.
Yeah, if he misses, it was a commit. It was I'm gonna win this right now and get onto the hill, or you're gonna walk away with this match.
But
and
yeah,
I mean,
definitely got to feel good after making a shot like that, though.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, well, shit, I did everything I could.
And that's the way you got to think about it, right? You play the right shot. I think that's more important than whether you miss or make it. Is feeling comfortable that you played the right shot.
Yeah, I'll say if you did everything that you could have and you just missed the shot, but you played it correctly, then you just got to work on actually making the shot.
But the dreaded I played a defense, I never got back to the table again.
And that's why I'm surprised Branndon played a defense on the first one with the 8, and then I'm also surprised that Nate played a defense on the 8 also and didn't try to back cut that in.
With it though, third set hill. I mean, both of the sets that they've won, they've kind of each player has kind of ran away with it. So
yeah, the total racks right now is 16 to 14.
Yeah,
or 16 to 13.
Ooh, I was just about to say what kind of rack would this be if Brandon gets that out and then breaks him around this next rack, but popping up right behind that 4 ball kind of puts the break and run almost out of the question unless he does another amazing kick shot.
Oh, which he almost did.
Leaves Nate the banks that he hasn't been really playing for.
Yeah, no, I think he's either
He's gonna probably bottom
safe
left.
behind the 8 or safe behind the 6.
Yeah, bottom left, bring it up to that long rail and come back down.
I think that's it's going to depend right now. You'll get to see how confident he is. Does he try to get all the way behind the 6, which would be a little bit more aggressive, or does he just try to contain behind the 8?
Yeah. Another one where that 9 ball sitting on that back dot of that rail of the rack, so you can't really move it. Played a little bit of the both where if he makes the bank, then he has a shot on 3 to be able to do something, but if he misses it, leaves a difficult shot for Branndon.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a jump. Unless he wants to kick at it, which
Looks like he might be going for a jump cue.
yeah. Tough because you're jacked up over a ball too, so good jump.
I would say a difference between the jumps is Brandon, I don't think, has given ball in hand off of a single jump tonight, whereas I think Nate has failed on all of his jumps so far.
He told me he was watching one of my courses on jump shots when I walked over there. I told him I at least would have got over one of the 3.
It's not a mess you want to go happen, but he rolls right behind that 4 ball.
Oh, what a
That's all.
lucky leave right there.
I'll say you get a roll, go your way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a time for a roll.
Let's see what his thought process. What do you do right here, Kyle?
I mean, if you could see the short rail, it should be a pretty easy hit. So that, I mean, you just got to kind of call it.
Oh, and just go
right around it.
Yeah, right in between that rail and the 3. Gives ball in hands to Nate with 6 balls on the table.
So yeah, now I mean, the biggest thing right here, I mean, even with ball in hand, is Nate's got to get the right shot from the 3 to the 4 to get back to the 6.
Yeah, get in shape. If he can get shape on the 6, he should be out from here. Through, don't end up perfectly straight.
I think he just on the wrong side to where it's going to be tough because now he's straight enough to where he has no angle to go around the table either.
Yeah, I think he has to send it to the right side of this, and I don't think
I think he might just take his medicine, roll it forward a little bit, and leave himself a shot. Yeah,
leave himself some kind of defense.
Yeah, just leave yourself a guarantee where you can see it.
Go through, try and hide behind either probably the 9 or maybe the 8, depending.
I would be trying to hide behind the 8.
Just like that. Don't roll back out, and yeah.
That's, I was gonna say, I would definitely be trying to run behind the 8 right there. All right.
Good hit from Branndon. Is going to go through, hide behind that 7
I was
maybe.
gonna say, yeah, almost got a roll of his own right there.
But he goes through and he leaves it up against that rail. Leaves it at least somewhat of a difficult shot for Nate.
Yeah, no, that's a difficult shot. That's one that Nate, I think he's got to go ahead and stroke through it and come short rail all the way down to the short rail.
Tries to play some
Defense
kind of
again.
defense, yeah. Like I said, he's not as much of an aggressive player as Branndon is.
Yeah, he's been leaving this shot for Branndon a lot, which is effective.
Yeah, it's been Brandon's been missing the bank, but going back through and making it in the opposite corner
Yes.
or opposite side pocket or whichever.
I'm going to do it again. Oh, that's a good leave.
That is a good lead for Branndon.
But again, almost did the same thing again.
Yeah, goes through, leaves it in the opposite
Yep.
pocket that where he's going through, and then leaves Nate option. And Brandon's the type to where when he goes for those banks, he's going to leave himself some kind of shot on the next ball. And so when he's been doing that, Nate has option and he has the easier shot on the next ball. And this is the first really open shot that we've been seeing on the 6 ball. This might be
Yeah, I was going to say open or somewhat
easier.
higher percentage
Yeah.
make. All the rest of them have been kind of lower percentage, but this is the one that can get him out right here. Come with one good shot right here, and it could get him out for sure.
It kind of feels like this is going to be his last time at the table.
Is he gonna go
Either gonna
right into
run out
the side
or-
pocket?
Nate's going to run out from here.
Yeah, and Branndon knows that himself too.
Yeah, I mean, 3 ball outs with these guys is
Should be routine.
yeah, it should be 90% plus.
Leaves himself probably a little bit more of an angle than I probably
Yeah, I
would
was
have
gonna
left
say
myself.
he did leave himself a little bit of an angle, not too funky, but a little bit of an angle. I think just slide over to the other side now. It's gonna be short.
He is. Leaves himself a tester
Short,
on this
short
hill
end on the
9 ball.
rail.
And he can't move that rack because the 9 ball's sitting on itself.
All right.
Makes it. So Nate
Great
takes
game.
the third set 7-6.
So I mean, and that's where you look at it, long set versus 3 short sets. So if they're running a long set to 21, the score right now is 16
to 15,
14.
15-14, yeah.
So
Where-
and Brandon's leading, but in
Brandon's
3
leading.
short sets, Branndon lost 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. So definitely made it interesting run out there at the end. Fun little last set. But with that, Nate takes it. Nate walks away. Our winner tonight up to 2-1.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely.
Branndon came over and just said the same thing. He said, we should have just done 1 race to 15.
Say it still would have been close. It would have been 15 to
15-14.
yeah.
But